What is up, guys? It's Solbash. Welcome back. We are checking out some new stuff with Moba Legends. Now, this past week, about 6 days ago, they had a huge update, 1.2, which brought out a lot of new stuff. New legend included, Phase the Mercenary. Pretty unique. It's range, another healer type, but it's like a heal over time. That's all the skills. We'll do a specific video for this one once we get it. But as you can see, it's a lot of AoE heals, which does over time, which is pretty cool. And I guess it's going to be helpful to bully lanes. Also, they dropped a new skin for that. And let's check out the primary features and changes that they did with this update. The newest and biggest one with this is probably the observer mode. Now, I'll show you here. You can go into your friends list and you see the little eye right there. If somebody is in a match, you can click on that and it'll actually take you in here. It'll load us up and we'll be able to go in here and watch this match almost live. It may be a few seconds behind, but hey, you're able to see everything that's going on, what they're purchasing, how they're progressing, where they're moving, and you can swap between anybody on the map. Now, this is only accessible with people that have a veterancy level of amateur 5 or above, and of course this is in beta currently, so if you have any problems with it or anything at all, just feedback results from it, let somebody know as always, because that always helps with developing the game. The 3v3 map, they adjusted the location of the bush near the second tower of the upper lane. Now, I'm not sure which side of the bush or if they adjusted both of them, but I did get some playtime in and didn't really notice too many changes on the top right there. But these changes right here, I did notice. The minions and creeps, they increased defense from 2 to 4, decreased the gold you get from them, and they increased the duo lane from killing, which means if you don't get the kill shot, you get a set amount of gold, which is usually 35. They increased that to 45, and they decreased the amount of experience you gain from killing minions. Now, they did the same with the range minions, the catapults as well, and the creeps. So this slowed the progression of the game down a lot. I kind of like this for a fact that it doesn't let one person still too much of a chance to run away with the match by themselves, because you see that happening a lot. Buildings, they did decrease the amount of gold you get from them as well. Now, the towers went from 655 gold down to 225 gold, and the barracks went from 350 to 225. Now, they did change, let's see here, the Legends view distance from 1500 to 1200. I really didn't too much notice that right there. All right, let's take a look at the equipment first, then we'll go back and look at some of the perk balances that they made, and also some of the changes they did to some of the legends. Now, in Radiant's Hammer, they decreased the damage dealt by the attack chain from 150 down to 140. The Soul Cutlass, they decreased the physical attack from 45 to 42, which is not too bad. Rainbow Rapier, which is an upgrade to that, they decreased the physical attack from 125 to 120. It's not too bad as well. Mirror Shield, they increased damage reflect from 12, 22, 26 to 12, 26, and 30% respectively to your level that you have it at. Full, they increased the mana on it by a good bit. That is a big upgrade for full. Hopefully we'll be seeing more people using that. Phoenix Blaze, they removed the slow from targets, increased hit points by 40, and then increased attack speed by 5% on that as well. Now, these are the two right here that I've seen people kind of sketchy about, but I kind of like this, removing the slow from the targets. It gives you more of an opportunity to get in and out of a fight, and it's not every time you get caught in a fight you're just automatically gonna die. You still have that chance of survivability, so it lets the fights kind of prolong more. It makes it to where you actually have to use things effectively instead of just relying on a slow for somebody else to be able to get there and just help kill somebody. AFK, this was huge in the last couple months. People going AFK or quitting matches. AI will now take control of the player's legend. Now, if it's anything like the AI that I saw last night when I was playing, it did not fare too well. It kept running in way too close and just overextending and just basically killing itself about 5 times in a row. I'm glad they're trying to do something about this. The difficulty level that the AI is playing at possibly needs to be adjusted. I didn't do any ranked matches with this. This was just normal gameplay. But they also did decrease the credits gained from daily logins and completing matches. They're trying to make it harder for people that are quitting the game to be able to continue doing so. Adventure mode, Legends can now be ranked up to 6 stars. Ranked matches did kick off. As we know, October the 28th is the last day for this season. This is season 3. And for the bugs fixes, they optimized the rank queue match algorithm. Tusker's ultimate skill duration should now correctly match with its description. Willen's 7-star lamp skill damage should now correctly match its description. And they changed some UI and text corrections. Now let's take a look at some of the other stuff that they did. Alright, perk balance changes. These are what they changed. The mana shield, they adjust the control status immune time of all levels to 4 seconds. Within the time of effect, if the shield is broken, the immune effects remain. So you don't lose the immune effect. So that's pretty cool if the shield is broken, because it's only a percentage base off of that algorithm right there. If you want to do the math on it, you can. They also reduced the gold gain from using Midas Touch. Now, this was huge. I saw a lot of people using Midas Touch, and I'm still seeing people use it, so it hasn't really changed a lot. 100, once you max it out to level 5, I believe it's around 44, 45 seconds that it comes back in. If that's not right, somebody correct me, please. But I'm still seeing people using it, so it's not too much of a big deal. On Crimson Flame, they decreased the total damage dealt in early game, and they increased the duration from 2 to 4 seconds. The only question here is, I don't know if they got something wrong, but direct damage over 3 seconds, they still have that on all of these, but that's all the damage there that they adjusted to, and it went down a little bit. Now this is another thing right here, the Frost Ring. Increased movement speed debuff effect from 30 to 40% and increased the duration time from 3 to 4 seconds. I'm curious if they did this for the lack of movement speed debuffs now from items. I wonder if this is going to have more people running Frost Ring now. It's a good thing. If you think more people is going to be running Frost Ring now, let me know in the comments below. Now let's get down to the last thing I wanted to take a look at, which was the legend balance changes. Like I said earlier, they decreased the distance view from 1500 to 1200, but these are the changes they made to the actual individual legends themselves. Duke, the Electric Boogie, they increased the duration from the circuit from 8 to 12 seconds, and they also increased the duration of physical attack buff from the circuit's disconnects from 6 to 10 seconds. Tesla Coil, they adjusted mana cost from 105 all the way across to where it scales now. Wild Stallion, they increased movement speed buff from 6, 9, and 12 to 8, 12, and 14, so you can get around a little bit faster with him now. Dread, the only thing they changed on him was the Chaos Axe. They increased the cooldown time from 7.5 to 8 seconds, which is not too big of a deal. I used him, didn't really seem to affect much. But they decreased the travel speed of the axe from 1300 to 1100, so it does get there a little bit quicker. Our Willen 7-star lamp, they increased the cooldown time from 1.2 to 2 seconds. Searing Strike, they decreased damage dealt from 140, 240, and 340 down to 125, 225, and 330. So they're small increments, not real big changes for this stuff here. Diron Mystic Slash adjusted cooldown of all levels from 6, 5, and 4, just a flat 6 seconds. They increased the damage dealt a good bit on each one, so about a 30% increase, maybe a little bit more. That's a pretty significant increase right there. Increase mana cost from 85 all the way across to where it scales as well. Now Raven, they increased the cooldown time from 48 down all the way where it went to level 42. They increased it, so maybe that'll help out with people running with Raven. And they also decreased the time barrier's radius, so they did make it smaller, so that makes it a lot easier for some of these range that don't have a lot of range like Jonic does to be able to get in if they're away from that. So that could be pretty important in some fights. Wei Kirin Teleport, they adjusted the travel distance of all levels from where it scales to it's just a straight 700 where it's going to teleport you now. That's pretty nice. Jonic, they increased the base hit points from 572 to 621, and they increased HP growth per level from 58.5 to 60.5. So, like I felt to begin with, Jonic did have a little bit on the lower side of hit points, so they did adjust that and raise it up. Maybe it'll give him a lot better chance of surviving now. Jewel, they changed a lot with her. Lunar Blade, they increased the range bounce from 455 to 500. They increased the amount of times that attacks will bounce from 1, 2 to 3 to 1, 3, and 5. That's pretty huge, especially for minion farming. Lunar Array, they increased the base physical buff from it by 15, 25, and 35. That's what it was. Now it's 20, 30, and 45. That is a lot. Moonbeam, they increased the affected area from 650 to 675 units. Adjust the amount of the moonbeams from 6, 8, 10, and 12 to 8, 8, 10, and 12. And they adjusted the damage per hit. They actually decreased the damage on it, so that's pretty interesting. And they increased the maximum hits that one can take from 3, 4, 4, and 5 to 4, 4, 4, and 6. So unless you go for that 4th level ultimate, you're not going to get the extra hits out of that. And with Jackson, let's see, Robo Fist, they decreased the mana cost on it from 80, 95, 110 to 65, 80, and 90. So 95, they dropped that down. Murderous Roar, they decreased mana cost. So that went down quite a bit. But they increased the cooldown timer on it from 10 to 12. They changed the passive effect on it from increases physical defense to increases physical defense of allies by 4, 10, and 15. So they actually put a set amount to it. They decreased the attack speed on it though, and they adjusted the movement speed from a 10, 15, and 20 to a straight 15% across. Ember Phoenix Wings increased duration from 6 to 7 seconds. They also increased the attack speed buff for each stack from 5, 10, 15, then from 30, 45 to 65. So that's a pretty good increase that it stacks with. And Phoenix Blades, they increased the area of effect to quite a bit bigger. So yeah, you're going to see a lot more Ember, hopefully. Tusker Warhog, they added additional passive effect, increases the HP regen. That's pretty cool. Also increases permanent HP buff from 120 to 140, so about 20 on each one. Wrecking Ball, they increased the damage dealt from 150. Okay, so they must have that backwards because that's going down. So it's 120, 220, 320 is what it was. They increased it to 150, so it went up about 30 on each one. Thick Hide, they adjusted the damage reflect from 4070 to 100 to 4070 to 120. So the last one is the best to go with, of course, which you're going to upgrade anyway by level 12. Also, we have Maxim Pointed Halberd, increased duration time of his movement speed. So it's, I guess, a little bit faster. Ghost Form, they replaced increases physical defense effect with reduces all damage taken by 10%. Pyrex Adrenaline, adjusted base movement speed increased from 6, 12, 15, and 15 to 5, 10, 12, and 15. So they slowed him down to begin with, but it can go faster on a different scale. Adjust stack movement speed increase from 1.5, 3, 4, and 4 to 2 straight across. So they evened him out there. And guys, that's pretty much all the changes that they had in this update. If you have any questions about any of this stuff or curious about what any of this stuff really affects, feel free to ask me in the comments below. I did play for a good bit last night. Got a chance to play with some of you guys as well. I know this is a really long video, but there was a lot to this update, and I'm kind of excited to get back in it. Kind of the stuff I've been waiting for is them to fix some of this stuff, and it looks like they did address some of this stuff. So in time, things will change, but just make sure you're always letting somebody know if you're having problems with stuff. Like I was informed that the teleport out of the base, that is left in the games by developers intentionally. So if you want to teleport out of the base and run to the middle, the very beginning of the match, feel free to do it, but you're not going to have that perk available by the time the match starts. Like I said, guys, any questions, leave them in the comments. As always, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. I am Solbash. You guys have a nice day.